Are you serious? Are you serious, guys? We have breaking news out of the Middle East, the Holy Land. I mean, the chaos, the craziness that's going on there, it just won't stop. And your mainstream, lamestream, fake news media will not tell you about these three very, very important uh, events that are happening right now. They are not going to tell you about the terrorist attack on the innocent civilians of Israel that just happened this morning. They're not going to tell you about the unbelievable amounts of people that are sick with the 153 people are now sick with the West Nile virus in Israel, the West Nile virus in Israel. And they're not going to tell you about Israel taking out another top commander of Hezbollah in what looks like a broadening war, an inevitable a war with Israel and Hezbollah, which of course is Iran. Let me tell you all about this, guys. All three of these major stories breaking right now. But first, put a shout out, if I could, for um, um, PastorPaulGold.com. That's www.PastorPaulGold.com. You can call at 877-646-5347. Are you worried about the future of the U.S. economy? With so many uncertainties in the air, that's for sure. It's natural to fret about the security of your retirement savings. But there's one asset that stands the test of time: gold. Gold, a biblical currency. For centuries, gold has been a hedge against market volatility and economic instability. With a gold IRA from Noble Gold Investment, you can harness the power of the precious metals to help protect your financial future. By rolling over your existing IRA or 401k into a self-directed gold IRA, you can enjoy the potential for long-term growth and stability. Diversify, folks, your portfolio with a tangible asset that has real value. Setting up your gold IRA has never been easier with Noble Gold Investment. Go over to www.pastorpaulgold.com. That's www.pastorpaulgold.com, or pick up the phone and call them at 877-646-5347. This election year is in a state of chaos and confusion. Don't let the election volatility and uncertainty keep you up all night. Okay, go right now to the number, look at the link, click on the link below, go now to PastorPaulGold.com. Matter of fact, they're giving away, if you roll over that 401k or set up a gold IRA or silver IRA, they're going to give you this. President Trump, 1/4 of an ounce, a Donald J. Trump, the 45th president of the United States, silver coin. Okay, mine's in the mail. When I get it, I'll show you. Or they'll give you, or you can get a 10 ounces of silver American flag bar. Either way, or both of them. Guys, are you serious? You need to find out what you qualify for. Check it out at PastorPaulGold.com. Wow. You'll be glad you did. All right, let me just tell you, these three big stories that are coming out of the Middle East, they are absolutely incredible, and we need to check this out. So, first of all, let's talk about the terrorist attack. It happened today. A tragic terror attack took place. It occurred at a shopping center in the city of Carmel in Israel's north. One person is dead. Another person has been wounded in a brutal stabbing attack. Eyewitnesses report that the terrorists severely wounded one young man with a knife. His friend, who was armed, though, managed to disarm the assailant and shoot him, but not before being stabbed himself. The individual, who was critically wounded, is in his 20s. He was left unconscious. Medics performed CPR on him at the scene, but he died when they transferred him to the Galilee Medical Center there in Israel. The other, for his friend, was also severely wounded, but was able to survive, taken to the same hospital. He is also the same person who shot and killed the assailant, a radical terrorist attacker there in Carmel. Now, This is just another one of the tragic attacks that's going on against Israeli citizens every day, unaccounted for. It's unbelievable, really, but it doesn't ever stop. I mean, it just doesn't stop, the attacks. Now, while that's happening to the public in Israel, there's another major story happening right now. 153 people, and it's extraordinary when you hear that number 153, because that's how many fish the disciples caught in their nets after Jesus sent them back out into the Sea of Galilee to catch fish. They'd fished all night, they didn't catch anything. They got their nets and they got to the shore, and Jesus said, "Go back out there, throw your nets on the right side of the boat. You're going to find them." And they obeyed the Lord by faith after fishing all night. They went out there. They caught 153 fish, but these fish were huge. They were so big and so many, they had to call other boats in the area to come and help them get all the fish in. 153 people now have been diagnosed with the West Nile virus. 11 of those people have died, and several more have been hospitalized. And some, my last report I got was 6 of them were on ventilators. Now, most of the patients are from central region of the nation of Israel. Generally, about 80% of those affected do not even develop any symptoms of West Nile virus, but about 20% of the people infected will experience varying degrees of symptoms, including fever, general aching and headaches and body aches, and neurological complications will also occur. And it's important to note that the virus does not spread from person to person. The disease does not transmit from human to human, but from mosquitoes. Unbelievable. 153 people diagnosed with West Nile virus. 11 of them are dead. And many more are hospitalized, and 6 of them are on ventilators. So it's a very bad situation. And that's happening also in the Holy Land. So they're being attacked by war. They're being attacked by terrorists. They're being hated on with anti-Semitism. They're being attacked by a plague, a disease like West Nile virus. But there's another very important information coming out of the Holy Land as well. I want to be sure that you guys know about, and that is, this morning, Israel has killed, in an airstrike, has killed the top field commander for Hezbollah today in southern Lebanon, a senior field commander, the top leader in the Lebanese terrorist organization Hezbollah, was killed in an Israeli airstrike today just outside the southern Lebanese city of Tyre. Is that right, Heidi? Tyre, excuse me. Tyre, that's spelled Tyre. The target was the commander of the Aziz unit on the southern front of Hezbollah. His name was Mohammed Nasser. He is considered one of the most senior commanders in Hezbollah that's been killed so far in the war. The sources said that the commander was responsible for a section of Hezbollah's operations along the border frontier, where the group has been exchanging fire with the IDF since October, in a parallel with the Gaza war. They've been attacking Israel since Hamas attacked Israel. Hezbollah's been attacking just as much. Okay, that's why I believe that when Israel's done with the Gaza war, when they're done with Hamas, when they've seized the entire Gaza Strip, they are going to turn their energies toward destroying Hezbollah next, which both of them are funded completely and trained and armed by Iran. Iran has already entered this war when they fired 320 rockets directly at Israel. And Iran is the ones who's been funding the Houthi rebels, who've been firing rockets and sinking ships in the Mediterranean or in the Red Sea. So and then it's Iran that has been able to convince even the Syrians to take a few shots across the bow there in the Golan Heights. And Iran, of course, has built a strong alliance now with the Russians, who are also sitting on the border of Israel up on the Golan. Now, they said that this commander was the same rank and importance to the group as Talib Abdullah, who Israel killed in an Israeli airstrike last month, and was the most senior Hezbollah field commander to be killed by the Israeli military since the hostilities began 8 months ago on October the 7th, 2023, that dreadful day when the attack killed over 1,200, almost 1,300 Israelis, and took 250 people hostage, mostly Israelis, but some, quite a few, at least 30, 35 of them, were Americans. Nasser, the commander, Mohammed Nasser, held position since 2016. He has led the firing of the anti-tank missiles and rockets from southern Lebanon toward Israel. He also directed numerous terror operations against Israel throughout this conflict and previous ones. So this was a bad dude. He was a bad guy. He was an enemy, certainly, of Israel, and he's been neutralized. He's been exterminated from the scene by Israel. So these are three major events breaking out of the Holy Land right now as the situation, you had all this people calling for the ceasefire, the whole world, and the demonstrating in America and all around, and in Paris and in parts of Europe, and even in Israel itself, some of its citizens calling for it. But Benjamin Netanyahu has been relentlessly consistent. He is going to destroy Hamas and seize the Gaza Strip, take it back. It's already, they tried the experiment of letting the Palestinian people in the Gaza Strip to rule themselves. The people there chose to get rid of the Palestinian Authority, and within a year, and voted in Hamas to be their leaders. Now, I believe they did it with a gun to their head. I don't think that the Palestinian people, I don't think they actually wanted Hamas instead of the Palestinian Authority. But once Hamas got in power and control, they have ruled that Gaza Strip with a brutal hand, and have used human shields, and have used the people, have turned and have educated. And along with the United Nations, and I got to say this to the UN set up schools in there, funded by your tax dollars and mine and everybody else in the Western world. We've been funding the United Nations, supposedly bringing in medical supplies and food, and helping with setting up schools for education for the Palestinian kids. But what they were teaching the kids was anti-Semitism and hatred for every Jew on the planet, and to teach them how to be little jihadists. And now they have grown up and they've become that. And they've also used their own people for human shield. This is the truth. We found the textbooks, we found the documents, we found the comic books, we have found the information, we have talked to the witnesses, we know what's going on there. And yet the world turns a blind eye and refuses to accept the fact that the world is filled with radical Islamist terrorists who hate Israel, who hate America, and who hate Western society. And I call all of us infidels. And let's just be honest. So in these last days, we have got to keep our eyes on Jesus and keep pointing people to the reality that Israel is, God has a covenant with Israel, God's chosen people, and they are now, just like the prophecies of the Bible said they would be, they are under attack. You can read it in the book of Revelation. You can read it in the book of Zechariah. You can read it in the book of Jeremiah. You can read it in the book of Daniel. You can read in the book of Joel, in the book of Amos. You can read all throughout the scriptures, especially in Ezekiel 37. That's when the dry bones came to life and Israel became a nation. But in Ezekiel 38, 39, that's where we read that Gog and Magog will attack Israel, and with a brutal assault against the Israeli people, only to be devastatedly destroyed and defeated by God himself in a war called Ezekiel 38 war. Right now, I believe that we can read Psalms chapter 83, the first 5 verses. I believe we're right in the middle of that right now. Israel being hated, that there's a confederacy, there's an alliance between nations that want to destroy Israel and wipe Israel off the face of the earth. never to be remembered again. That's what it says in Psalms 83, and that is almost word for word right out of the mouth of the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and those who hate Israel. So we're watching prophecy fulfilling itself right before our very eyes. And it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. The prophecies of the Bible says that. In other words, in Zechariah 12, the Lord, Zechariah prophesies that Jerusalem will become this cup of trembling, this burdensome stone for all people. And everyone that burdens himself with this, or in other words, every person that hates Israel, will be broken into pieces. Even if the whole world comes against Israel, this will be their fate. And so we're living in that exact time in the Bible. So if there was ever a time, so I don't know the day or the hour the Lord's coming back. The Bible says no man knows the day or the hour. No, not the Son of God, not the angels that are sitting around the throne, but the Father only. He's coming. But he said, pray that you be worthy to escape the hour of temptation that's coming upon the earth. The Bible says to watch and pray, for an hour you think not, the Son of Man cometh. And so we don't know the day or the hour, but we can definitely see the day approaching, and the prophecies of the Bible are being fulfilled. You don't want to be left behind. When the wrath of God is poured out upon this planet, when God himself decides to bring judgment upon the entire planet because of its disobedience and its rejection, by its mocking and its blasphemous ways, that it's been going on for some time now. I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. We're certainly living in the end days. You don't want to be left behind. Give your life to Jesus Christ before it is too late. We are running out of time. I'll be back. Are you saved?